Greetings everyone. So let's go through this fairly recent event that took place in Georgia, and what I think is even more funny is some of the comments reacting to this event. So basically in Tbilisi in Georgia, not sure exactly when, because in the video that The Guardian put up they didn't say when it happened. They put up the video earlier this month on the 9th of July. And they didn't actually say when it took place. But basically a pride march, a pride event, festival, whatever you want to call it, was shut down by Georgians. So they tried to have this LGBTBL pride festival, and about 2,000 Georgian protesters went in Tbilisi and prevented it from happening. So I want to start off by watching that video with you, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it, and we'll go through some of the reactions to what happened there, because I think that is the funniest part. So here we go. So there you see the scuffles between the anti-LGBT protesters and police. And there the staging is taken down. The staging is meant to be for this Pride Festival. Rainbow flags and placards were set on fire. And the protesters, they had Georgian flags. They also had there's an icon there of Mary and Jesus. And as you can see, some priests there as well turned up for this protest. And the Tbilisi Pride had to be cancelled because of this. So there we are. Now, if you look at that video, it doesn't seem like it was particularly violent. It seems more like the police were just trying to stop the protesters from going in there and preventing this Pride Festival from taking place. There didn't seem to be any like serious fights going on between the police and the protesters. There wasn't any rock throwing or anything that looked like it was going to cause the police some real danger. It just seemed more like scuffles and pushing, and the police just trying to hold them back and them trying to get through. Now, of course, The Guardian posting this video was horrified by what happened. They are posting this video to essentially say this was horrific. These poor people were just trying to have an LGBTQ pride festival, and here come these horrible homophobic bigots to stop it from happening. They're posting this thinking this is terrible. And well, the reactions, some of them in the comments, clearly show that people do not agree with The Guardian. Just before I read some of those, let's have a quick look at the description from The Guardian of this whole thing. So it says, a pride event in Georgia's capital, Tbilisi, was cancelled after up to 2,000 anti-LGBTQ protesters stormed the event and destroyed the stage. Footage showed protesters holding Georgian flags, scuffling with police moments before the event was broken up. Organisers accused the authorities of actively colluding with the demonstrators to disrupt the festival, which had been held in private for a second consecutive year, to reduce the risk of violent protests. It's funny that it was only the second consecutive year that they've tried to do this, showing that this is not an easy thing to get done in Georgia. A government minister said it was a difficult event to police as it was held in an open area near a lake. Georgia has passed laws against discrimination and hate crimes, but LGBTQ+ rights groups say there is a lack of adequate protection by law enforcement officials, and homophobia remains widespread in the socially conservative South Caucasus nation. So that's their little description. Now let's go on to some of the comments. And by the way, I have had a look and I have not found a single comment. There might be one or two buried somewhere in there if you look hard enough, because there is a heck of a lot of comments, thousands and thousands. I could not find one comment that was saying, yes, this is terrible, what happened. The comments were pretty much just in support of what these Georgian protesters did. So let's have a read of some of those. Here's one. The Georgian people have my undying respect. The people who organized the parade must have been out of their minds. It's Georgia, very traditional, very socially conservative, very Orthodox Christian. Great to see people fighting back for once. It's nice to see people actually do something about it and not just complain online. My biggest respect for the Georgian people of not giving the minority the upper hand to do as they want, and they showed the world that the masses have the bigger say. Well done, Georgia. We need more of this in the West. I've got nothing against your sexuality, but I have a problem if you try to shove it down our throats and corrupt our kids. All my respect goes out to Georgia from the United States, which isn't so united anymore. The reactions in the comments section is definitely not what The Guardian would be looking for. And to be fair, The Guardian have gotten away with this one because they've posted this obviously thinking this is horrendous, what's just happened. But because people watching this have liked the fact that the protesters stopped this event from happening, they've liked their video. So The Guardian actually has 54,000 likes at the time of me making this, which means that it's going to be shown, this video, in the algorithm on YouTube, because the more likes you get, the more visible it tends to be, the more people see it. So thanks to the fact that people like, they don't like the fact that The Guardian has a problem with this, they like what they're seeing in the video, they like that the protesters have stopped this. So they're liking the video, and because of that, The Guardian has now had almost 1.5 million views thanks to them. I'm surprised they permitted comments in the comments section, because as I'm seeing, there isn't anything here that's saying this is awful. Whoa, I love you, people of Georgia. I love how you work together to protect your child. I'll pray for your safety and your fight. Respect from Azerbaijan. I mean, it just goes on and on. Love and respect to brave Georgian people from India. Gotta love how a huge mob of people storm the parade but are still pretty polite to the police officers. Thank you for posting this. Thank you for reminding us of those who went before us, who stood up and fought against evil. They protected children everywhere. Well done, people from Georgia. Respect from Portugal. Doing what everyone else is scared to do. Great stuff, and huge respect to the Georgian people. Hope to see this in the UK. And it just goes on and on. And that's the funny part about this, that The Guardian has thousands and thousands of comments, and no one seems to actually agree with their point of view. They haven't made their point of view obvious. They're trying to play it neutral and just say, here's an event that happened, but it's very obvious. I mean, The Guardian is essentially like the British New York Times. They're a super left-wing paper. And this hasn't quite worked out as they'd hoped. Apart from the fact that, as I said, they've gotten loads of views, thanks to the fact that people like the Georgians for stopping this event. So they've inadvertently, by accident, managed to get tons of views that I'm sure will make them a little bit of money. But there we go, folks. What do you think about that? If you're Georgian, do comment. I'd love to see some comments from Georgian people, but not only Georgian people, of course, just anyone else. What do you think of this whole thing? Do you think that they were right, the people of Georgia, to basically forcefully go in there and stop this event? Perhaps you think that those people who wanted to hold the event had a right to do so, even if other people in Georgia disagreed with what was going on. I did find it really interesting that priests went there as well to take part in the protest. Do leave your comments. Thanks very much for watching, folks. Have a blessed day.